were maybe by 30 or 40 boys and girls who joined, So we had one, two, I think 3 doctors, then 3 dentists.
How long did you train in Ort?
Maybe over there a year, so maybe 6-7 months over there. Then they liquidated the camp, and we went all the way to Trani, near Bari, all the way the other end of Italy. See, close to Napoli. It's already close, it's like from one end to the other end. So they opened up a camp over there in Trani, it's a little town also. So they sent the whole camp, they shifted over.
So
a couple of thousand people.
Okay. Before we go to that camp, so you were part of Ort's training almost the whole time you were in this camp.
Yeah.
How many would you say Ort had a big presence in
Trani?
In Trani, but how about in
Milano?
Milan?
They just opened up a dental technician.
Just dental.
Class. That's all I know about. But I didn't hear about nothing else. But then when we moved over to Trani, we opened that also. It was a military camp.
Okay,
an Italian military camp.
So in 48, in May of 48, the whole camp, they shut down Milan, they moved everybody to Trani. And physically, tell me what it looked like. Same setup, military? The housing?
The houses are military buildings, big building,
How did you sleep?
Also set up like that, but we somehow they let us give us permission that we can close ourselves like a family, like you want to close it. So we used to get a couple pieces of wood and with cardboard, we separated them and make partitions.
Okay.
See, not all the way to the ceiling. So we lived a little bit more like families. But
bathrooms were still...
Bathrooms, you have to go to the main bathroom. There's no bed. But what happened in Trani, we took the Ort took a whole block, and we made a big school. We had schools like dressmakers and shoemakers and divers, you name it, any trade you can think of. We had a big school. See? So, and bricklayers to build buildings. In fact, they built me up. I also got a job. I was in that dental mechanic, and at night I always looked for something to make.
So you became a dentist?
Yeah, I'm not a dental mechanic. But I never practiced it, but because I'm so lucky. I came too late or too early.
Okay. See. And you also became a bricklayer?
No, the bricklayer. What I want to tell you. See, I was working also to watch the school at night. I took the job to watch the school, so I had like a guard. So the bricklayers built me up a little house. See, they were learning. And they built me up a little house. So I studied over there at night. I had a little typewriter, and I studied my lessons over there. And I watched the school. See?
Okay. Now let's go back to Milan. I want to know about the social life of the young people in Milan, in the camp. Were people coupling up?
Oh, yeah.
And were people starting...
In fact, I got married to Milano.
So tell me how you met your wife and how...
Well, my wife I met, when I came back from Russia. She was in a different part of Russia. Yep. She was in Kazakhstan.
You already knew her.
No, but I knew him when I joined the kibbutz, when I came to Szczecin. See, the leaders were walking around on the streets, and because people were coming in every day from different places. So they were looking for young people to join the kibbutz. They were walking around on the street, and they saw my future wife, walking with another girl, and they were living in the same building over there. And they talked them into join the kibbutz. So that's how I started to know. See, that's how I started. From 1946, I knew her.
You mean you were interested in her? You were attracted to her?
Yeah.
But did you did she know you were interested in her?
Well, not in the beginning.
When did she know?
Well, then when we came to Milano,
You waited?
we got together, so we had more time to be together, take her out on a date, When I went to La Scala.
Tell me your first date. Tell me about your first date.
Oh, he's a big, he can tell you stories.
Tell me about your first date.
My first date, what do you know my first date? What do you think?
Tell me how you asked her out.
I asked her out. we were living together. We wouldn't have to ask her, to come from
You lived with her in Milan.
No, we never lived together. No, we lived in the same room.
Okay.
In the same place.
So you lived in the same room. Did you actually ask her out for a date?
Sure. Yeah.
And so, tell me about the first date.
No, listen, we had a date, one date, and then,
Where was the first date?
And the first date, I took her to La Scala.
Did she like this
Yeah.
first date? Okay, and were you a couple after the first date, or did it take a while longer?
Oh, it took a little while longer,
How long?
See? Well, she was very attached to her mother and father,
And
So, it took a little.
how long did it take you?
Well, it didn't take too long because we were only a year in Milano. So, but before we moved,
Did your
we got married.
Did her parents like you?
Yeah, we were all together.
How long did it take you to convince her parents that you should be the husband?
Oh, it didn't take too long that time. That time was different, The parents were, they wanted to get, to get rid of the kids and get.
Is that what it was? Get rid of or love? This is very unromantic.
It's not like now, let's put it this way. It's not the same thing.
So, were you in love?
Oh yeah, I liked her,
Was
Because,
she-
the funny thing is, when they talked them into to join the kibbutz, it was funny. They come in and they said they got two girls and want to come in, but they want to have their own bed. They were sleeping together, the two girls. so they sent me out with another guy with a push cart and bring the bed to the kibbutz.
So tell me about your wedding.
In fact, the friend is in Israel. She married one of the leaders from our kibbutz.
The sister married.
Not the sister, the girlfriend.
Right, okay. So tell me about your wedding.
Oh, you wouldn't know about the wedding. The wedding, we had to scrape together 10 people because the camp was already liquidated. There was nobody there. And if I'll show you my exhibit, that's the certificate of marriage is written by hand by the rabbi in Hebrew.
Yeah.
We got together maybe 10 people, we made a chuppah,
Yeah.
you see, because, I didn't want to, she wanted to go back with the family, and I was looking for a job. My father had a job working in the Joint Distribution Committee in Milano. He always, like me, we always look to get something to work, not to stay and do nothing. See, the Joint Distribution had a big They had tailors. People used to send clothing for people. So they used to have tailors and they fix them and make them, make them before they gave it to the people. And they had a carpenter shop. I don't know what my father did there. But it was funny, So my father says, if you want to come with me, and you work till, they settle down the camp over there, so we can come a month later.
So, how does that relate to you getting married?
I got married and my honeymoon she was over there in Trani and I was in Milano
Okay.
for 3 months.
Oh, that's a bad honeymoon.
What a honeymoon, huh?
Okay. So when did you get your honeymoon? Did you ever get it?
When I came back.
Okay. So they moved the camp to Turani. That's a small town.
No, it's not a small camp, it's a big camp.
No, the town.
The town was a small little town, yeah.
It didn't. Now.
It's not so small, but
But Milan is a town with a lot of culture.
Oh, Milan.
When you were in Milan, did the people who were in the camp try to make use of the opera houses and all the
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
When
People had money.
was the same? What did you have in the next town? Anything like that? What was the town like?
Where? It'd be Milan?
Turani.
In Trani was a nice little small town, but very nice.
What did it offer you? The town. It didn't have an opera house.
No, but they had a movie.
Yeah.
And nice if you had money to go buy something, stores.
But it's
At night time we used to go to town because in Italy the people at night they don't sit in the house. They walk around in town. Like in Europe we used to, I remember Europe the same thing. They don't sit in the house. The whole town is outside, walking back and forth and and looking at the stores or going shopping if they got money.
So you
The
would do.
whole family walked around.
So
We
the-
used to do the same thing. We
Just
used to go
walk
to
around.
town and walk, enjoy ourselves, sure. Or go
Walk-
to the movie over there.
So
We had a movie in the camp also.
how long were you in Turani?
Also a year.
So that would be 1948 to 1949.
Yeah.
And you had Ort had a huge presence.
Yeah.
And
Oh
you
yeah.
Now what was the food in Turani?
Well, we go in the morning for a cup of coffee, we go for the family, to get coffee and bread and dinner. And we used to make, for Saturday we used to make challahs.
Now, did you ever cook by yourselves with your own family in Turani?
Not, yeah. Yeah.
You-
Sometimes we
Or
I
did
told
you eat
they-
together?
we had, the kerosene lamp, remember the kerosene?
Yeah.
Later on we found out but in the beginning, I told you, outside, they used to take the boxes from the oranges, make a little fire and cook wherever we had something.
How much of in Milan you had a rabbi in the camp?
Yeah,
In Tirana you had a rabbi in the
sure.
camp? What was the Zionist presence like in Milan?
Oh, the Zionists, they were always all over.
In
They
Milan and
they tried
Tirana?
to ship the Jews to Israel, wherever they could.
In both of these camps?
In all the camps. Any camp you were there.
Well, no, just speak about the two you were. In the Italian camps.
True.
Did all the people in Milan want to go to Israel?
No, not everybody wanted. Some people had relatives over here. We came over here by accident. We were ready to go to Israel. I told you, we got stuck in Saalfelden because we couldn't cross the mountains with the family, with my father and mother. See, that's where we got stuck. Now, when we came to Italy, my kibbutz was gone. He was already in Cyprus. See? We were still thinking of going to Israel. So now, when we moved from Trani, We lived near Salerno,
In a-
Sant Antonio. It's like a
Another
little
Jewish
town.
camp.
They opened up. They shipped us from Trani to Sant Antonio.
Another Jewish DP camp.
The same camp, our people, the same people.
Okay.
See, a lot of them left already. A lot of them, people were going and coming. To go to Israel, come and go to America, because they had relatives, and So what happened when we came to the
This is 1949.
in 49, yeah, in 49 when we came to San Antonio. One of the, we had speakers outside. It was a small camp already, smaller. And so also, I came over there, and I was looking for something to do.
Right.
So they sent me into we had kitchens. We had a kitchen for newborn children. They were making the bottles. We had a department from a kitchen from 1 year to 3 years, children cooking food for 1 year to 3 years, and then we had for regular meals a kitchen. My father was the chief over there, and so they sent me into that kitchen with the children. What time is it? Oh, you come on. They sent me into the kitchen from 1 year to 3 years to help him cook. So they had a Jewish woman, an Italian, lived in Italy, and they gave her, the Jewish agency gave her a job, for that job to be the chief, for the cook. So she walked around with a book.
Hold on.
She walked around with a book, a little bit sugar and a little bit pepper. Everything in the book, whatever it said in the book, they had to cook. So I'm there one day. By night time, she gives me the book. She says, "I'm going on vacation. You take over the
So you were feeding. You were feeding. Now the name of this camp was what?
San Antonio.
Now I have a Santa Maria de Luca, Santa Maria de Bagni. It's not that?
No.
No, this was Santa.
It's near Salerno.
So that's a different
It's a
camp.
little camp. Yeah.
Okay, now I have to backtrack. In 1948, when you were in Tirani,
In Trani, yeah.
where were you when Israel became a state?
And I think in Trani.
That's where you found out?
Yeah. I think
What?
in Trani. I remember, where the hell, they made already that movie, what the hell that movie they made,
Exodus.
the Exodus, yeah.